always dancing to my own music. I love the start of my show, my music. So, hi everyone. It's been a while. I am so excited to see you again and start wishing all of you an amazing new year. I hope that you have the most incredible intentions for 2019 and that you've closed off 2018 with celebrations and turning the page to a year that was really challenging. We all found 2018 to be a year of growth, yes, but not always through the most easiest moments. And so we're coming back strong today with my favorite powerhouse in my house. And it's Tasha Kredl. This is my lovely little munchkin, who is not that little, but to me, she's always going to be my little munchkin. So, yay! I'm so excited to have her. So we wanted to create this show with you today, and we're actually going to have another show. We're going to be twice in a row talking about of course, everything that is what we believe in, authentic leadership. We're talking about a consciousness and amazing women and men in this world who are living in their truth, and that's what we call being truly in our. Thank you, honey. In our power. This way of living is, of course, a choice. It's a way of life that we have consciously chosen in our life. And this beautiful munchkin here, who is a wellness. No, you're not a wellness. You're a holistic private trainer.
Yes, you could say wellness, I guess. Everybody has like a different term for it. So right. I'm a holistic wellness and health coach, right, with a private training background, and I also do food and energy healing on the side. So I choose not to just stick to one niche, because I feel like I have so much more to offer that I don't like to just call myself like a holistic coach, because it's basic to me, and I feel like I go into more depth with a lot of other things that come in hand that play a huge part that people tend to forget. So yeah.
So of course, what started in our family, right? I mean, what started this, and how did we all, in our clan, in our women's clan, because we're a women's clan, we have we're in fact four strong women. There is my mom, who is in France. Salut maman. We love my mom. She's the best, and she is still living in France. We just spent Christmas all together for the first time in 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years, 1998.
That's right. Yeah. We spent Christmas all together. And then there is me and my two beautiful, gorgeous girls, Tasha Kredl, who we also say hi to, because she's another freaking amazing powerhouse. She is a DJ, a singer. She lives in France. She just moved. And so we have always lived in this, in our family, in this wellness, in this health way of life. I mean, it started with my parents. My mom and my father was a complete freak on health, and basically forced my mom to, 6 months before they conceived me, forced my mom to eat only certain things, no coffee, no alcohol, no meat, no. Anyways, he was a pioneer in health, and they had a health store, and that's when we were in New Caledonia, the island I was born on. And so my parents were always within this health approach of their life and their view on the world. So I raised my girls, of course, being obsessed with what was written on tags.
I know. Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I remember, I keep saying this story, but I remember being in elementary school and literally switching my carrots for Dunkaroos. I'm like, please just give me some sugar, something. I need to have that boost. So it was great. Like, I do now at my age, I see the entire benefit around it, but also there was you're a kid, you want to be a
Of
kid.
course,
So there's
right?
like bad parts to everything where I'm just like, I really just want sugar.
Yeah, and I
like,
was radical. I was like,
yeah.
you're not going to get
I
that
remember
sugar.
like no more than like 1 or 2 cookies a day,
Oh,
max.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
no
glass
soft.
of juice a day, like
Yeah.
this big, like
Yeah.
cannot have more.
Oh, no.
I'd have 2 glasses. I'm like a little rebel for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And
would
I
do
made
that.
I made everything
Yeah.
basically for them.
Yeah.
At lunch, they would have like these little cute
Oh my God.
notes on their napkins, like "I love you" and "I miss you," and like I don't know, some kind of inspirational
like,
little
"Oh my
quote
God."
that day.
Throw away
And
out the back.
Or I would get stuck in aisles. I remember the kids going, "Mom, are you done yet?" Like I would literally go shopping with them and I'd read everything on each label to see if there was any crap in whatever I was buying. And
But it was good.
yeah, it was. So that's the way that you were
Yeah.
raised, right?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And even though at some point you rebelled from it, of course, but
When you think about it, like those things that happen, that kind of pull me away from that.
Right.
It's just like society stuff. It's not really
and
who
it's
I am
also-
at the core, right?
You needed to rebel.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's your job.
I mean, it is.
right?
Yeah,
It
I am
was
like
your
that.
job.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were a pain in my ass then, but hey. But now she's like, look, she's like perfect.
Hey.
And then she's following me. I moved here. I'm thinking I'm going to get away. And no, she's following me. She's moving
okay, but
here.
you like it though, so don't pretend like I'm the one who's like just coming just because.
No, you love me. You love being around me.
Okay, it goes both ways. Just saying.
So we have always been in this realm of consciousness, but actually not always consciousness. So I want to spend a little bit of time on this before we move into more of what you do is because I think that mothers out there, I really feel for other mothers out there who want to see their children rise, and they want to desperately have an influence on their children in a way that is perhaps a little forceful or maybe even fear-based. I meet a lot of moms who talk to me about how they see their children taking a direction they don't appreciate in their own lives, hanging out with people they don't particularly appreciate, and out of the best interest and the best intention they possibly can have for their kids, they just are not in alignment with their kids' decisions. And I think that is normal. Mothers and us parents feel that at some point we see our children, we worry, right? But worrying doesn't really help. Worrying doesn't do anything. I've heard once someone told me, worry is taking away power from the person. And
Absolutely.
when I heard that, it made such an impact on me, and I started rethinking about what worry is all about. Like, what do you do when you worry? Worry is actually very powerless. It creates only more fear within, which prevents you from really being in your heart and really sensing what does your child need. And our children are our children. I mean, as a parent, you'll get to know that later, but we always view our children as our children, and even though they become adults, we tend to want to protect them. We want to do the very best for them. We want them to make the very best decisions, and sometimes they don't make the best decisions according to us on the moment, but we have to have faith. We have to trust you, and having that trust and that faith does not come to us until we have found it within ourselves.
Yeah. But
Right?
that just goes with any relationship at that point when you think about it,
Absolutely.
right? So
for,
it's the basics, but people don't think about that because I feel like no matter what, you go into a space where I'm the mother. I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying, like, as a parent, like as a father,
Right.
I'm the father. I know best. I'm
Yeah.
the mother. You listen to me because I know.
which is,
And it's like
it's
totally
a load of
wrong.
shit, excuse my language, but it's actually really wrong. And I was in that space for a while.
Yeah.
And
Did it work for you?
well, at the time I thought it worked for me because I didn't know better,
That's
right?
okay.
And it's only when I did a big shift in my life in the last 5 years, I've done a huge shift in my life. And thanks to a lot of teachers and mentors and coaches around me that have helped me, including Tony Robbins, helped me really shift my life. And in order to shift my life, I had to shift myself. I had to shift my consciousness, my spirituality. I had to shift how I view things, how I perceive people, how I perceive myself, how I want to lead my life. What do I want? And I did complete 180, I think.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And so which was really, I believe, the time, well, after it didn't, it took a bit of time for you girls to feel that shift. So, right. So,
well, you were going through it, so it was either like, I feel like subconsciously I kind of jumped on board without really thinking about it, because at the time too, 5 years ago?
5 years ago when it started.
So yeah,
it really
I was like starting, I was already
3 years ago.
3 years ago
when I
fully embraced everything.
Yeah.
But the whole shift between us two really started within that time too. And like I was also more into fitness and more into health and stuff. So I was also, you can't just like be, you can't just want to be healthier or more into fitness without actually wanting to be a better person or feel better. Like there's a reason, there's a root cause behind it. There's a goal and intention, right? So like I saw you going through that, and I was also going in a different direction in the, like, of growth. Yeah. But we both kind of were growing and feeding off each other here and there, kind of.
So the what happened was you experienced a shift in me, watching me, wanting or choosing to be my better self, the best of myself, and really being in that space and choosing to really ground in that space, which wasn't always easy.
No.
But I think that that's the key here, is that when, for mothers or parents or fathers, once you choose to be the very best of you, you create an energy around you. You create waves of energy that are contagious. They're irresistible, and your kids are going to want to be part of that, because you become irresistibly contagious.
Yeah, of course. But it's just like attracting what you project, right?
Exactly.
So when you start being into whatever it is that you start being into, like it could be also bad things, and then people wonder why they're attracting more bad things, and then they get into victim mode, and then it's just that exactly. So if you choose to make a step forward into growth, into personal growth, into health, whatever you choose it is, if it's positive, you're only going to receive back more positive. So
and yet so for instance, when you were training in the bikini competitions, by then, even though I didn't fully, I didn't agree with what you were doing to your body.
Oh, but you were like literally top-notch support.
But you were. I was. And why was I? And I just want to speak to this very quickly. Why was I? Because I was able, because of the shift I had done, because of the space I had created within myself, with more faith and more trust, and less worry. As a parent, I was able to know better that, in fact, it was a phase.
Yeah.
It was a phase for you. You needed my support unconditionally.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there to tell you, don't do this, don't do that.
No.
You worried, blah, blah, blah.
You didn't even like give me looks. I remember being like, the judgment was upon myself. Like I wasn't, at that time, we were just mainly you and I in the house too. And there was just, it was just me. Like, and you were just there. And I'll never forget, like when I finally decided to stop competing, and then we went to Mexico a day after I competed at an all-inclusive resort. Where literally you can have as much food as you want. And I just had finished doing bikini competition. So obviously I've been deprived for 18 weeks, like no cheats whatsoever. I was this big. I was really...
She was skinny.
I was really...
She was gorgeous.
I was, yeah. But like skinny. I was too skinny because I was not eating enough at all. I was eating 900 calories a day, training about 3 hours a day, and then on top of it working, pretending like as though like I wasn't exhausted, backing up on the caffeine, and I was craving so much and I couldn't wait to be done. So then we went to Mexico and we went to this resort, and I just remember like trying so hard to control everything, and then I would just go on crazy binges of like at the buffet just eating plates and plates and plates of stuff, and then the next morning waking up being like, oh my god, I need to go to the gym, and would spend 3 hours.
You were very compulsive.
I was so out of like line as to who I was, what I needed, and you did not say anything. You were just going with the flow. I remember coming back from the buffet, like having all these plates, like I'm like, I just didn't know what to choose. I just had to bring everything back, and you're like, okay, yeah, enjoy, yeah, and I'm like,
you know what helped me too is
like, I just couldn't believe it, but it just made more sense to me too. Like it gave me that space. You gave me space to understand by myself what I needed or not.
And that concept of, you know, being able to give space to someone you love, even though you're watching them go through a difficult moment. I understand compulsion because I've been compulsive. I was anorexic and bulimic for 7 years. It was a time in my life that really enabled me to develop more compassion for people who have issues that are not so public. You know, one can hide bulimia more than one can hide anorexia. I mean, anorexia is very obvious, right? I was a stick. Eventually, I switched into bulimia because everybody was bugging me about eating. So I thought, well, I'm going to eat, but then I'm going to throw it up. And so, it wasn't so healthy at all. And so I know compulsion. And I also know what feeling supported is like, especially in an unconditional way where you know that that person is there behind you no matter what. No matter, I mean, we've had other experiences in our family, you know, with Nikita and you, and we've gone through a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's been a way for me. You and Nikita have been my teachers in so many ways. I mean, you have taught me so much about unconditional love, about being able to support you and love you no matter what happens, no matter what you do. And I wanted to kick your ass, I don't know how many times.
Well, same with me towards you, to be honest.
Right. So exactly. So when I wasn't in my space of unconditional love, and I wasn't able to give you that space, and that's the thing, is I wasn't in that space, so I couldn't give you that space. I could only give you that space when I was in that space. So it all starts within. But so we had times where we were like 3-4 women in the house arguing
endlessly,
and we had times where it was just painful.
It was really hard, and that's why I think like a lot of people now see us and they're like, "Oh, you're so lucky," and I'm like, "Yes, I am."
It's not luck.
Whoa, chill, woman.
People.
So it's not luck, but like you're right, it's not luck, but at the same time, like we made this. We chose to work through it, and it wasn't always like it's not about therapy. Like, we did therapy and we did a bunch of different things. Actually, we did a bunch of stuff. We did shamanism. We did spiritual counseling. We did meditations together. We did a bunch of stuff.
Lot,
weird. Yeah. I didn't even like.
But it was all in it was all
in the moment. Right.
And it was all in the intention to go deeper with what's happening so that we rise higher together. Yeah. I mean, that was my intention. Yeah. And being a witness to what we just experienced in France. Yeah. For this past Christmas, we were all together in France for 3 weeks. Being a witness to what took place in France all together was for me the biggest reward out of
it's all you ever wanted.
It's all
I know
what I ever wanted. Yeah. It was for all of us to be together, 4 strong women, 3 generations.
And just be at peace and enjoying each other.
And being able to simply accept one another as we are.
That is like the biggest thing, I think, in our family. It's just accepting. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like accepting yourself, accepting others. It's just a lot of acceptance in general. Yeah. Because that was like my sister and I love her to death. We are very different people. We're yin and yang. We're total opposites. So no, sorry to say, but no shit, it's hard to accept somebody when they're so different. Values, the way they live, everything.
Well, and also our family was ripped apart, through a divorce, and it was a difficult situation.
But I just find like even like, let's say like you were forced to, I wouldn't say forced, but like let's say you were to be friends with somebody who was totally different than you. Like usually you're not friends with these people because they don't have the same interests. So no matter what, it was hard to just accept that my sister is my sister, and no matter what, I'm going to love her and just accept her for her. Yeah. And like, I don't even want to try to change anything because it's her path. Perfect. And I have no control or say over that because it's none of my business. Right. And I just have to give her that space to just be who she is between us. And then just, again, love and accept unconditionally, no matter what. Unconditionally means no conditions, meaning I can't speak. Wow.
Unconditional love.
There can't be any blockages, any conditions to the way that you should express your love for somebody.
Yeah.
It's just, she is family and that is it. And that should be enough. She is your sister. Love should be enough.
It is.
Wow.
And unconditional love is one of the biggest it's one of the biggest subjects. I think some people, when I first discovered the concept of unconditional love, I was pissed.
Why were you pissed?
Off because it was actually at this first event with Tony Robbins 5 years ago.
That's really funny.
Yeah. And I was pissed off. I had this coach who I will always remember, David, if you watch this, actually, I'm going to send this to you because he was my coach then in that event. And I had no idea who was Tony Robbins. Like I've always, I tell this story often, but my theme at that event was unconditional love, and I don't even remember how he brought it up. It was it became my theme for the event. For 6 days and nights I cried my eyes out because I realized that I was not familiar with what it meant.
Right.
And so I was challenged with experiencing it even for myself because I had been so judgmental towards me. I was not unconditional about myself. I did not know how to give myself unconditional love. So let alone giving it to others.
But I feel like I don't know if you still feel the same way now, but I feel like a lot of people don't understand what unconditional love, because I also didn't know what it was. And I was totally, excuse my French, mind fucked. Totally. Because I couldn't.
We are not censoring any bad words today. Just saying.
Yeah, but I'm just, it's true. Like I couldn't believe that I didn't know what it was. And
exactly.
It's not from you, not from my parents, just me as a being. Like I just couldn't understand what it was.
Well, if I didn't fully get it, then I could not practice it in our family with you and your sister and your father, right? So if I didn't know, then I couldn't practice it. If I couldn't practice it, then of course you didn't know.
Yeah,
so
basics.
It's been like my shift has really opened up, huge doors for our family.
Everyone.
So now, Miss Lovely Tasha Kredl is this awesome holistic private trainer and is now choosing to come and follow her mother.
Okay.
In California. So, so you're coming to work here. We are getting you a legal visa as well. You've chose to come here. Why?
I think, last couple years between the two of us, like we've obviously grown so much together, and I feel like there's a bunch of different reasons, but the way that you started working, the brand that you wanted to create, this empire that you wanted to create, I was like, wait a second.
I am creating.
You are creating, yeah.
That we are now creating.
What did I say was?
Yes.
Did I say was? I meant are. You are creating. Yeah, you want to create this and you are creating it, and I want to be part of it because I always felt like we've always like fed off each other constantly, and like I push you to grow in different ways that you probably wouldn't think of yourself, and vice versa. And I think no matter what,
being a pain in my ass.
Okay, relax, take it easy. Jeez,
that's how she pushes me to grow.
Yeah, but it's so a good thing. You love it, so it's
yes,
okay.
I do.
You do love it, but I love it too. And I think first
very
of all,
direct.
It's really great too that as a mother that you're open to that, because a lot of people would be like, no, like I know best because I'm the mom, right? Like I can't hear my daughter tell me what to do, what not to do. But it's not that I'm doing that. No. I'm just giving you, again, maybe suggestions of seeing things in a different way, different light, with a different perspective. And I think that's something
and she's that way with the man in my life. She is the one who brings down the hatchet and goes, no, Mom, that will not work. And when she says that, I'm like...
But because sometimes we're like, we don't see what we want to see, and same with myself,
exactly.
right? Like
from the outside,
we're just kind of we don't even bother looking at a different perspective. So anyways, you allow me to grow, I allow you to grow, and I just feel like as a team we're so good because we're just I love that we're just raw with each other constantly, and we all we really want to do like is just I want to like dig out your truth, you know, and I'm like, here it is. And I'm like, there it is, people, and you do the same with me. And like I feel like we just need more of that general. Like,
and that's what the brand stands for.
Raw, authentic, empowered women.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was great.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's exactly what the brand is all about. What I've called my company is Radiance Groupies. It's about women powerhouses.
Yeah.
It's about women who dare to be all of who they are without apology.
Yeah.
Stepping into their truth.
That's a big one. Without apology.
Without apology. Do not justify. Do not. But it comes to, it only comes this unapologetic truth telling for a woman who really embraces all of who she is only comes when she has been able to find the grace in her heart that will allow her to not be unapologetic in a forceful, aggressive way, but
not in a masculine way.
Exactly. But in a graceful way, in a way that really speaks about her heart to others' hearts, right? It's finding that thread from your heart to someone's heart and being able to speak that language, and it's about women and men, because I think a lot of people have been asking me if I coach men. And I think it's coming because a lot of people are asking me.
Honestly, it's fair. Like we treat women like it's the next thing. Like it's the 2019, like, yeah, women power, which I'm all for, obviously, but we're just kind of like leaving them behind, and it's like
we are not, but yes,
we shouldn't. But like you know what I mean?
You're speaking about what you're perceiving out of society, which I believe is a trend in society. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It feels like women want to rise, and by rising, they want to actually leave men behind, which is so not what this brand or what I'm about or what you're about, because I believe that yin and yang need each other. We complete one another. We are able to fill up the. It's not the gap. It's not because there is no gap, but
maybe balance out the polarities.
Exactly, balance out the polarities. Wow, look at you!
Ta-da!
She's already just finishing my sentences, and that's why I don't fully stand for what has been called so far the feminist movement, because
it's feminist, not feminine.
I said feminine?
No, you were saying feminist, but I'm saying exactly that. Exactly. It's feminist, but not feminine.
Exactly, because the original movement of feminism is about, making room for more women and equality of opportunity and pay and so on and so forth. But it's not, in my opinion, it's not about equality of gender. We are different, and we need to embrace and celebrate each other's differences.
Yes.
And rising women does not mean that we leave men behind. We need to work together. We need to understand each other better.
Yeah.
We need to celebrate each other. And we need to stop trying to iron out the differences between men and women in terms of our idiosyncrasies, our qualities that are particular to our essence. I am a fierce feminine woman.
Oh, girl.
I am. And I can get into that raw warrior type of energy when I need to, and I can also go into a much more soft yet strong feminine.
But that's like you being in your flow, right?
Exactly.
Like you're in your flow, so you're able to just go from one way to the other without having to be so masculine that it derives you from who you actually are.
Exactly, because I embrace it, because I completely know that these qualities are actually needed in me, depending on the situations in business or in life, or as a mother, or as a sister to someone, to another woman who's going through a hard time. Like, we need to be embracing all of each other's idiosyncrasies, each other's qualities, and I want to have more men on this show. If any of you actually are conscious leaders and authentic men in this world, please contact me. I want to have you on this show. I want to give the world your voice, because we need to embrace
men
and women, working together, living together. I mean, it's we are made of those two essences inside. So if you cut one out inside, you're going to cut that essence on the outside as well.
And you're going to not have your own balance in general as an individual if you're going to stick to one more than the other. Like we were both very masculine at one point, and we put it, and it just completely took out our balance in general. That, you know, even just living together, we were just always aggressive, always on edge, like always defensive, and that's really masculine of us.
Yeah, and I was the leader in that. I was the one who take responsibility for that. I was the one who gave the tone.
That's okay. Like I also grew up being quite masculine, not knowing what it was. You know, I was just like that, and then
I think it's also because you were bathing in that with me. So I mean, I'm not, but it's really fueled what I do today. Yep. So I'm very grateful. It was perfect.
Oh yeah, totally. It was perfect. Everything that happened was perfect. That's why even too, like when we have our moments where we kind of wonder like what we're doing, and we're just kind of like, what's happening right now, we take a moment to just remember like everything that we have been through together, separately, or like as a family, and it's like, wow, like everything aligned perfectly. And you'll never realize till you're like way past it, and then you're like, wow, that was incredible. It's incredible how it happens. And you're just so blinded.
I think we were so blinded. And yet now that we know that everything happens in the perfect way, we can remind each other.
Yes.
When we're down or something happens, or, life is not bringing you what you want out of your expectations, we can remind each other, you know what? This is actually perfect. Yeah. What is happening right now?
It's always perfect too. That's what people don't realize, but you have to just change your perspective.
We had to learn it. I mean, we had to learn this. It didn't come to us,
it's part of it. No,
right?
At all.
I mean,
zero. People that have known me back then and they know me now, it's like
same for me.
It's like it's so different, right? And like they can't, like I don't even recognize. I was even just I didn't tell you, but I was watching some of my old. I was watching some old vlogs of mine yesterday from 2015.
And so that's not that long ago.
Well, it's like 4 years ago. And
that's when I sold. That's when I sold.
But that's
my
pretty, like to me that's long. Like I feel like even like 6 months ago is like so different.
I feel like 2015 is eons ago. Exactly. I mean,
But even just watching myself, the way that I was speaking, the way that I, like, just my energy was.
Baby then.
Oh, okay, well I'm still a baby now. But anyways, but just watching like my vlogs was so strange to me. I was listening to them, like,
the biggest difference?
The way that I was using my words, I think, like, yes, I still swear, and like I can be like whatever, like a smart ass and like rough, but that's how I am, and I really like that part of me because it gives me that edge, and I'm just fire. So like whatever,
we're sassy in our family, very sassy women.
But like it's funny, and it's good to have that like spice in your life. But at the time,
like spice, that's for sure.
At the time, I didn't know how to like vocalize myself or my truth, and it just didn't feel like me. Like I was looking at me and I was like, what am I? What is that? So weird.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting how much we can change. It's incredible. Like you don't realize till you see on video because you're in action mode.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Yeah. To your point, when I come back now in Tony Robbins events, and I'm actually coaching the participants that I actually I was that participant, that coach I had about that unconditional love theme.
Right. Sorry.
5 years back, came to me one day and he looked at me and he's like, wow, like what
you changed so much.
Shift.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, that's great. So it's fun to have that little bit of acknowledgement on the outside.
Yeah.
And, so here we are contributing to this amazing brand that I've created for women to be in their power, and that's the power they hold within. It's the power that they need to reclaim, that is really all within them. It's not power from the outside, it's power from the inside. And you fit in perfectly, even though this really wasn't strategically planned this way
at all. Zero.
but teaching women how to be so powerful from the inside out versus the outside in. And the outside in would mean that they are feeling powerful because they're writing on their social status, or they're writing on the car they drive, or they're writing on the address that they own, or they're writing on who they're dating, or they're writing on how much money they're making. This is all amazing and great, and it's all tools to get to the outcome and the idea of success they might have. But when they lose any of that, usually it forms a crisis, and then they realize they're missing something. That's when I come in and I teach them to be powerful from the outside, from the inside out. Sorry. And you can complement this beautifully, because so now we can finish.
I had so many things that just went through my mind, but I think that when we kind of I think it's such a big thing happening right now too, that people are realizing they're missing something, and half the time they have no idea what it is. They're just like, even with my clients on coaching calls, they're telling me I'm missing something.
Well, that's how my story started 5 years ago.
Exactly. And but right now I feel like there's more people than ever, and it's like, what is that something? And I think we both agree on this, that we all know what it is. The problem is that we have so many blockages between that don't allow us to have the clarity that we need to actually see what's within.
Right.
Because we all have that power.
Right. So you basically focus on the body.
Yeah, way more like mind-body connection, understanding physically what's happening to you emotionally.
Chakras,
exactly.
Through identifying in the body sometimes what we are feeling, because we always have a connection to how the body feels. Like, let's say you're feeling sad. Well, where are you going to feel it in your body when you're feeling sad?
Yeah, and especially like the fact that people think that we're robots. And this is another reason why there's such a big change in the fitness industry, in the health industry, is that they're realizing that we become what we eat. That, but to us it's normal, but to others it's not. And not only do we become the information that we feed ourselves with food, but also in terms of oxygen. So breathing, do we breathe properly? Are you conscious? Are you aware? Mindful exercising, are you activating your muscles properly? Do you even feel your body training as you are exercising? Because a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I just ran a 3K and I'm doing curls and I'm doing squats and I lifted so heavy, and I'm like, how did you feel? They're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do I mean? Did you not feel empowered? Did you feel like you put your body through something exhilarating? Like, well, not really. I'm just doing what my coach is telling me to do, and I find that so like unfulfilling.
Yeah.
And I think people are starting to realize that there's a lot more to becoming the weight that you want to be, to losing the weight that you want to lose, to feeling fulfilled, energized, alive, and present. There is so much more.
I think what I'm perceiving from the world right now is people are craving truth.
Absolutely.
People are craving
authentic truth.
Yeah, and I'm starting to be a little bit hesitant as to use the word authentic or authenticity, because I feel it. Well, no, I love the word. No, nothing wrong with it. I love the word. I mean, I have this word all over my content. Right. What I'm perceiving though is that it's a little bit overused in some people's mouths, and so what we can replace that word with truth, with meaning. People are craving meaning, especially women, and I think this is why the world is seeing so many women rising, is because they're done with having to fit into a box, having to comply and reduce and condition themselves to be accepted by people around them. So
do you feel like there was a lot more? Do you think that now we are at this state because there was a lot more conditions applied to women back in the day that within generations it just kind of followed through, and now we're breaking that?
We're finally, I feel like now it is finally becoming a movement of women wanting to dare to be who they really are without apology. So the feminist movement was a great movement to start that. I mean, it wasn't even started then. I mean, we've got in history, women, starting to come out of the woodwork to really make their mark. I mean, Coco Chanel was one. I mean, we can go back in time.
Right.
But in the last century, I believe that the feminist movement made a dent that was strong enough to make some noise, and it started opening some doors. Mm-hmm. In the process, there was a little bit of anger and resentment towards men, which now I feel we need to iron out, and we need to dilute so that we give the space to men to join us in this rise, as we were saying before. So yeah, I do completely believe that at this stage right now, the world is ready for more meaning, for more truth, and we see it all the time.
And here we are, people,
right?
Making a change.
Exactly, and I also hear often, which I'm not sure if you hear in your generation, you're a millennial. I love millennials. I love not only
like us.
Well, no, a lot of people in my generation don't appreciate millennials. I hear a lot
that is so
of
true.
Talk.
You guys hate us.
No,
yes.
not all of us.
No,
I don't.
Not you. But I'm just saying a lot. I hear so many people being like, these stupid millennials always on their phones, blah blah blah.
I hear it all the time, and I remind people. I'm like, by the way, do you understand that they're also very open to change?
Oh, yeah. We're like, bring it on, man.
Exactly.
We want it.
And actually, a lot of you girls out of your generation, look, I have two amazing girls who work with me. One is an intern. She just wants to volunteer because she loves our brand so much. She's like, oh my God, I want to be part of this.
Because we're more connected to like our what lights us up.
But you're also more open to creating change. You're more open to some of our of the old farts in my generation. Excuse the old farts, but it's true. Like, some of you are just not looking at millennials in the best light, and I think every generation has a side that is just not as great. But it's not,
it's just like there's wrongs and rights. No, there's no wrongs and rights, but there's pros and cons to everything.
Exactly.
Everything.
I think so. One of the things that so I lost my train of thought though, because I was wanting to talk about millennials really being open to creating change, being more willing to look at how to do things differently, and I'm proposing a model of leadership for women and a model of leadership for men and women working together that is quite revolutionary. I'm proposing, that type of system because I know it works, and I've experienced it firsthand with other men and other women in the corporate world. I know it works. So I feel like some of my generation is more hesitant to embrace what I know works, what others in their generation as well, in their group, some of them do accept it more, but you guys are just so freaking open, and I just love that.
I love that too.
Yeah. But how do we blend? I did want to make another comment and I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Doesn't matter. On. But so how about if we take some questions? We have just a couple of minutes left.
I'm currently on my Instagram live, so I'm just checking if there's some questions. I don't think so. Watched a little bit. Love you both. Such a wise words. Thank you so much.
Who was that? Who was saying that?
Val.
Hi, Val.
Hello, Tasha's mom. Your daughter is amazing.
I know my daughter is amazing. I love her.
Thank you so much.
You better believe my daughter is amazing.
Okay. Yeah, no, there's no questions. So,
I have questions for you then.
Ask me. Go.
What's your favorite word?
Oh. And in what terms?
Just go. Whatever comes to you. Don't censor. Thank you.
Okay.
What can't you go without?
Love? Whoa. That was... These words are just coming out.
Who is your role model?
You.
Oh.
It's so true.
Thank you, baby.
It's
You're
true.
So cute. I love you.
It's true.
You're not saying this because we're on a show
No.
and you're pleasing me, right? All right.
Okay, take your hand back. No way, man.
Okay, good.
No,
Okay, dude,
okay.
just checking,
Like,
just checking.
there's a lot of people that are obviously my role models, but like A1, like every time I'm like, well, my mom told me this, you know, like, and they're like, really? Okay, like, what does your mom do? And I'm like, oh, by the way, we're all also in the same industry. Like, it's not like I'm just saying that. Like, anyways, whatever.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you want to inspire in people?
Oh, I think it always goes back to truth, obviously, and to really embrace growth in a sense of, I see a lot of women kind of get scared to embrace their inner courage, I guess, but that also falls under their power, to understand that you're not broken and that you can heal from all these things that you've been through, or that you condition yourself to be or have been. There's always a way out, and it's not that hard. You only choose. It's just like pain. Everybody goes through pain, but the suffering that you go through, that is your choice. And I really want to teach and inspire others to embrace themselves and who they are and who they want to be, and that they are able to create the life that they want to have despite everything they've been through.
And actually, to an example we had in our life recently,
yes,
the merit one has for rising above all odds is far greater than the odds themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We've had this type of comment
so many times
in our life recently.
Yes.
Where looking I love the fake wink, blink, whatever you call it.
Blink.
Whereas, you know, whatever experiences that are tough in your life, whatever you're going through, there is always a way to rise. There is always a choice. And who you become through all of these odds is the sum of your character, and it is your best self. And so use all of these bumps, use all of your fears so you can rise to a higher level of power and consciousness and of just yourself. Just dare to step up in that space, right? One more question. Are we done? No? Okay,
no,
good.
We're good.
How will you know when you have reached your version of success?
Oy. How will I know? I think if I'm like able, I just picture myself, I just had a weird vision, I guess. I just picture myself kind of like being in a comfortable space. Comfortable meaning like I enjoy my environment, not comfortable as in like, oh, I'm just gonna be a potato and not move for the rest of my life. I think, and I'll just be able to look around me and what I've created in terms of, actually use this all the time, legacy or empire, and just understanding that even if it wasn't 10,000 people or women or men that I've changed their lives, if I impacted at least 5,500, whatever, a certain amount of people and actually changed their lives and the way that they want to live their lives, that to me is success. To be able to get through to people to understand everything that I've spoken about, everything that they don't have to live through or that they have a choice even, is really big. And if I'm able to change that for people, that to me, let alone, is success. So maybe I'm still trying to figure out my definition precisely as to what it is.
How does money come in between all of this? What is money? How is money involved, or financial prosperity? How is that involved in your idea of success?
So you've taught me, actually, again, something last couple months ago where I just kind of had a realization that prosperity will not come to me unless I am like within my own power. I am my truth, in my truth. Obviously, we're going to chase till the end of our time to be fully in our truth, but progress, you know, like prosperity and abundance comes from love and from acceptance and from unconditional being of ourselves. Like we are as we are, and the more that we embrace that and the more that we focus on following what lights us up, then the prosperity comes. And everybody got it backwards. So where does the money fall into place within this? Well, I mean, I don't really, like, I don't know.
Is it possible that
ask me more questions.
Is it possible that money and financial abundance comes to you in flow to show you how to enjoy your clients, how to enjoy life, and enjoy even more of the beauty around you.
Does it allow me to do that? Money? Absolutely. Oh my God, yeah. I had to fully change my relationship with money a couple years back, and understanding that, like, my worthiness of money in general, that it's an exchange of energy.
Correct.
And a lot of people think that it's just like paper, and it's not that. And it allows,
it's dirty.
And it's dirty, and it's bad, and money is evil and all these things, but it's not that at all. And you're allowed to love money because it gives you the possibility for me to come to California and see my mom. I'm able to go to France. I'm able to purchase these things for other people that make me so happy. I'm able to give without even thinking twice about giving, just to give. And that's what I love about my new relationship with money. But it took a lot of work because I didn't even realize I had a problem with it for a long time. Not that I'm like super old, but you know, like it was difficult.
Freedom.
People don't, it definitely gives you freedom. It gives you freedom to work for yourself, to do what you want when you want to do it. And it doesn't mean that you have to work less. It's just differently. And it's a big deal. A lot of people don't see that.
Absolutely.
That it's a full exchange of energy. So the more you're afraid of it, the more that you worry about it, the more you're receiving that. Exactly. And then the same week, you're going to lose clients, and you're going to lose this, and you're going to lose that. And you're like, oh, I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. Well, no offense, but you kind of attracted that. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think we're done.
We are done.
We're going to be back live next week. If you have any questions, if you want us to speak on specific topics or themes or whatever, please reach out to us. So we can be found on Instagram, Tasha Kredl, TASHAKREDL. Tasha
Wow,
Kredl.
you got it. Good job, Mom.
She's got her your site is on hold right now.
It's on hold,
but
under
Instagram
construction.
is very live.
Yes.
You can find me on my website, Tatiana Dudyez, TatianaDudyez.com. That's my site. You can actually even book a session with me for free on my site. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on whatever.
Just about everywhere.
Right? And so we're excited to maybe welcome questions or topics, or we invite you to...
we love questions.
Yeah, we love questions. We like to be challenged, and we invite you to... we do.
No, we do. Oh, yeah.
We invite you to come in our space and interact with us. So thank you so much for watching today. We love you, and we'll see you next week.